morning, students. Our today's topic is experimental measurement of osmotic pressure. So, if we want to calculate osmotic pressure experimentally, we can use the method, and this method is known as Berkeley and Hartley's method. So, in this method, or you can say this method is based upon osmotic pressures concept, that is, by applying pressure on the solution side, we can prevent the entry of the solvent molecules into the solution through semi-permeable membrane. So what is they are talking about, that this particular method or this principle is based, or this method is based upon the principle of osmotic pressure. So here the apparatus is given to you, the particular tube is taken where the tube is, this one is your tube. So solvent is taken in the tube, and on the left side, on the one side, your T tube is fitted, and on the another side the reservoir is fitted. And this tube, the tube taken inside, is a porous tube. Semi permeable membrane is there. This is your semi permeable membrane, and the whole tube is fitted inside the gunmetal vessel. This is your gunmetal vessel. This is your porous tube where solvent is taken, and this is your simple tube, and this is your reservoir. Here water can be added. Now this is your piston, and this is pressure gauge. So what will we do, or what can we do here in this particular apparatus? As solvent is there, solution is there, the solution whose osmotic pressure we want to calculate. So whenever this is taken as it is, so there starts a osmosis. The solvent molecules gets started going into the solution due to osmosis, and you can see the level of M, that the level of solvent which is at M start decreasing or start going downwards, because solvent molecules are adding into the solution, so the level falls down. But as the solvent molecule starts adding into the solution, we will exert an external pressure on the piston, so that there stops the entry of solvent molecules. So the molecules will not get into the solution. So we will get the pressure by the pressure gauge. How much pressure we are applying on the piston can be calculated by the pressure gauge. So in this way osmotic pressure is calculated. And when we calculate osmotic pressure, or when we come to know that the solvent molecules are not entering into the solution, when the level of particular solvent again come back to its original position, that is M, then the pressure showed by the pressure gauge is known as osmotic pressure. So this is very simple method. This is all written in this type of paragraphs. You can read it on your own or at your home, but this is all I told you about all the things. So this method is superior to other methods because of some reasons. There are three reasons. First one is osmotic pressure is balanced by external pressure, so there is no strain on the membrane. So as you can see, we are applying the external pressure, so there is no strain, because as the solvent molecule starts entering into the solution, so there will be a pressure on semi permeable membrane. But as we increase the pressure on the piston, so there will be a no strain on the semi permeable membrane. And second point, there is no change in the concentration, because no solvent is added into the solution, so there is no change in the concentration of solution. And third one is time taken for measurement of osmotic pressure is very much less. So as you can see, we as the solvent start entering, we will exert a pressure, and when the level becomes equal to M, the pressure gauge will tell us about the osmotic pressure. So there will be a much less time taken for the calculation of osmotic pressure. Now we are going to for the expression of osmotic pressure. So by the experiments it is concluded that, or it is found that osmotic pressure totally depends or directly proportional to concentration, and it is also directly proportional to temperature. So we will combining these So pi is directly proportional to T into C or C into T. Pi is your osmotic pressure. It is the representation of osmotic pressure. And as we remove the proportionality sign, we can see pi is equal to RCT, where R is your gas constant. So pi is equal to CRT. Now pi is equal to CRT. This is similar somewhere. We can conclude just C, that is your concentration, is equal to number of moles upon volume of solution. So you can write pi is equal to N upon V RT. Now take this V into on the other side. So pi V is equal to nRT. This can be similar to PV is equal to nRT, that is your ideal gas equation. So this is your expression for osmotic pressure. Pi V is equal to nRT. Now what are isotonic solutions? So isotonic solutions are those solutions which have same osmotic pressure at same temperature. Let us suppose A has osmotic pressure of 0.5 and B also have 0.5 osmotic pressure at 25 degrees Celsius. Then these two solutions A and B are isotonic with each other. So if whenever this solution is AB is isotonic, and here is another group CD that is also isotonic, and these two are known as isoosmotic. So whenever there is a presence of two isotonic solutions, that are called isomotic. Now to conclude that osmotic pressure is a qualitative property, you can clearly see that pi is V is equal to nRT. Pi is directly related to n, that is it totally depends upon the number of moles. And whenever any quantity is depend on the number of moles, then it will be a qualitative property. Now next point is biological importance of osmosis. So you can see all the bodies of human are made up of cells, and cell contains particular fluid in it that is of some concentration. And whenever the cell, your body cells, come in contact with less concentrated solution or water, because if cell has high concentration than the particular solvent, or you can say water, then the water molecule starts entering into the cell. Solvent molecules get into the solution, and that is, you can say, water molecule starts entering into the cells. So the cells will be repurchased. There will be a repurchasing of cells. So this is known as hemolysis. This is known as hemolysis. And when the solvent molecules enter into the cell, the pressure develop inside the cell due to the presence of, or due to the inflow of water into it, is called turgor. Turgor is the pressure developed when water or when solvent starts entering into the cell, and this process is known as hemolysis. And to the other side, you can say, if your cell is comes contact in with the high concentration solution, so then the solvent molecules from the cell will comes out from the cell to the solution. So there will be a shrinking of cell. This is known as plasmolysis or crenation. Some of the processes that are regulated by the osmosis, you can see plants absorb water from the earth, that is also due to osmosis. Animals, water moves around different parts of the body is due to the osmosis. Stretching of leaves, flowers, osmosis help in rapid growth of plants and germinations of seed. Different movements of plants, such as opening closing of flowers. So these or the bursting of red blood cells which placed in water is due to osmosis. So all these processes are due to osmosis. Now here we know that, or we know and we have to know that 0.9% aqueous solution of NaCl has exactly or is isotonic with the red blood cells. So red blood cells have a concentration of 0.9% of NaCl. It means whenever we put RBCs in the 0.9% NaCl solution, then there will no be shrinking or bursting there. So they may be equal. So there is no plasmolysis, there is no hemolysis. But when we take less concentrated solution than 0.9, then that particular solution are known as hypotonic solution, or hemolysis is there. So they will swell and even burst. But when a pure NaCl solution with concentration having more than 0.9%, that particular solution are known as hypertonic solutions. And if we are placing RBCs in these solutions, the RBCs shrinks, and this is known as plasmolysis. So whenever there is a hypertonic solution, hemolysis is there. When there is a hypertonic solution present, then there is a plasmolysis is there. So explanation of some phenomena on the basis of osmosis. These are some phenomena we will discuss in the next lecture. That's all for today. Thank you. If you have any kind of doubt, you can message me anytime. I will send you the solution as soon as possible. So that's all. Thank you.